Hello everyone, Corbs here bringing you another video tutorial. Today's video tutorial is on htaccess. Well, a little while ago I put out asking people, so what video tutorials would you like to see me do? Is there any topics that you want me to focus on? And this was one of them that came up. So I said, sure, no problem. I'll get right on this. And sorry for being a little late. I was busy working on other things. But here we go. So this video tutorial is out of requests, and I will try keeping it somewhat short. So don't mind me skipping over things and just saying, here, I'll give you a link to refer to this. Mind you, things are going to change in the future. So what you're seeing now may not be exactly how it's done when you're watching this video. So let's get that down. Okay, so what exactly is htaccess? Well, htaccess, wow, I said axles. I can't speak right now. But htaccess is short for hypertext access. It is basically just a configuration file used by Apache-based web servers that controls the directory that it's currently in, or quote, lives in, as well as all the subdirectories beneath it. So just say if you put an htaccess file inside the root of your folder, so that's the public underscore HTML, every file, every folder that's in that public HTML is going to be affected by what you do in the htaccess. And that means every file in all those folders and all the folders inside the folders are going to be. So just think of it, if your website's like a tree, this is at the very root. Hence why we say the root of your site. This is the base of your site. So that's basically what htaccess is. If you're running on a web server that is not Apache or not running Apache, you're not going to have this htaccess file, and everything I discuss in this video is not going to help you at all. So let's start with at the very top. Use PHP beta CGI as default, and it says add handler. Well, this is because I'm running fast CGI on my website. At the current state, it's still considered beta. I haven't noticed any difference between it being faster or slower with it or without it. So I have it on anyways. So but this was all turned on through the cPanel, and the host that I go through has the ability to have that. So that's what that is. Next thing is going to be rewrite engine on. This rewrite engine is going to be for all the different mod rewrites that we're going to be using further down. So this we want to have turned on. So let's skip down, and we're going to go straight to right here. Directory index, index.html, and index.php. By default, if you're using the evo.htaccess file, you will see this one index.php and this one index.html. If you swap it so it looks like this means now you will be able to create a splash page on your website called index.html that will load up before your main site. Mind you, if you do that, you're going to have to create in your splash page a link to the index.php file. I've been to several sites where they put on a splash page but no link to their website. Yeah, I don't get it, but yeah. So that's what you would need to do. You would just swap this. This normally is .php. You would have to move this to the .php and this one to the .html. So it basically just tells the website to check to see if there's the HTML file, index.html. If there is, run that first. If not, skip and go right to the .php. So But yeah, this is where if you created a landing page or a splash page, whatever you want to call it, this is how you would do it. Index.html and then index.php. Error document 404, 403. This is because I have my own. Here, I'll show you. I have my own PHP and HTML files for this, and so I have my own little looks for them for the error docs. So this is a little way to control it. So if somebody does get a 404 error, it will automatically put them onto that script right there. If they get a 403 error, they'll come right to this file. So there are 5 main different error docs. As you can see, I only have 2. I've never got around to doing all the other ones. But the other ones is 400, which is a bad request. 401 is an authorized required, which you rarely would see unless if you have like an open folder for people to download stuff or whatnot. Rarely ever come by that. Then you of course you got the 403 and 404. 403 being the forbidden and 404 file not found. And then the 5th one is one that you really don't want to see, but it does happen once in a while, especially for you guys that do modifications on your live site without actually properly testing stuff, which is the 500. You get the error doc 500, which is the internal server error. But you can create your own different pages for each one if you want, and you would just pretty much copy this error doc space, and then you would put 500 space / and then the link, the name of the file .php or .html. That's pretty much what that is. So here we're going to get into the security rewrites. As you can see, I did make a couple of notes back when I was doing these modifications to help me out. NC makes it non-case sensitive. L makes it the last rule that a specified condition will match, and the R301 means that the web server returns a 301 moved permanently to the request browser or search engine. Another one you're going to see is right here, or. The reason why I didn't put or up here is because, well, it's just or. Sort of like, would you like an apple or an orange? That type of or. So as you can see, in these first 4 lines right here, I have rewrite condition, and then the last one is rewrite rule. Basically, it's saying rewrite condition, headshotdomain.com, or www.headshotdomain.com, or headshotdomain.net, and then rewrite rule is saying http / www.headshotdomain.net. Basically, what that is saying right there is, okay, if you come to my website and you type in headshotdomain.com, it'll bring you to www.headshotdomain.net. It will automatically transfer you to that. If you type in www.headshotdomain.com, it will put you on the .net automatically. Some of you may sit there and say, well, doesn't Nuke Sentinel have forced nuke URL? The answer is yes. Why did I do it this way? Well, I do have forced nuke URL, but it doesn't seem to work all the time. I don't know why, but I've run into quite a few cases where it wasn't working on like Mozilla correctly, or even Edge. Chrome, I've never run into that issue, but I want to cover all my bases. Yes, the forced nuke URL should work, but there are a few occasions where I've noticed it didn't. So this way, no doubt about it, it will work. So that's basically what this is right here. And mind you, I'm going to put up a copy of this htaccess, not with everything in it. Like, you're not going to need to have all this stuff in it, a bunch of this stuff, but I will put in like that right there. And I will go over different, I'll put a little bit of information about it. But we're going to skip this because this part, because this is all default in there, and we're going to skip right down to mod rewrite. But before I get on this, I do want to point out some of you guys may be like, well, is it possible to force people to HTTPS, which is the secure, the what's it, SSL, and all that. You got a certificate and you got that up, and your host allows it. If you're on shared hosting, you may have to contact your host to see how it goes about it. But yeah, and I'm not going to really go over that. You can actually read up more. I will put in this right here. This is a link right here about it. Same with this one. And if I remember right, Lone Star even has a little thread going on right here where he actually pointed out to take a look at this link here. And I'll put in a link to his threads here. Right here. So I actually had that one listed. Yeah, I already had it open. Go figure, that's funny. But yeah, that's GoDaddy. This is the one he has there, and this is another one. So I'll put in the two links here. Also put a link to his forums on that. I don't run SSL on my site, so that I don't have that quite yet. I don't really need it because I'm not taking any form of payments. I'm not taking credit card numbers. I'm not taking any type of stuff that is like, oh my god, they got that information, I'm screwed. No, I don't want that headache. I don't want that problem. So yeah. Now you're going to say, okay, what's this? Rewrite condition, HTTP user agent, email siphon, exatbot, Twiceler. Well, these are bots that I have had come to my site and literally take a lot of information. Just they sat there on my site, and I'm not just talking about like one instance. For example, Twiceler. I think at one point I had like 50 of them on my site, and it was 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it went on for like a week, 2 weeks, and finally I just sat there and said, block. Same with Exabot. But you may say, okay, well, I have these bots. How do I block them? Well, here's a list right here of all the different bots. Same with this right here. This is a small little list. And here's a list of bad bots. As you can see, they got a bunch of pages. But I don't even know if they have Twiceler. Yeah, I'm going to pause it and see if I can find. Actually, let me go back to. Yeah, they don't even have Twiceler on here. But Twiceler was one that I had. But yeah, these are all different bots right here. That's another list. So if you do have problems with bots coming to your site causing problems, then something like this coming through here and finding them would be good, and blocking them using the htaccess. And basically with these ones all right here, if they come here, it basically blocks them, it stops them. The next one right here, this rewrite condition, don't take any offense to anybody from here, from Russia or something. It's nothing against you guys, but I noticed at one time I was getting hit by .ru sites, lots of them linking back to the site. I mean, every day I had to wipe out my listing, and it would probably be about 90%, and I was displaying I think 100 sites, and I looked at my statistics and I was getting probably about 500, 600, 700 sites linking back to our site from .ru sites, and most of them were porn sites. I didn't want that. So what I did instead was I put in a rewrite condition for any sites that are coming to my website right here, any referrer coming from a .ru or .ua site, it's going to automatically direct them to files right there, which is, I'm going to show you, is this. So when they first come, it's going to show like this. That's what they're going to see instead of my site. And that's basically what happens. And in the description, I do go over why they're seeing it. We do not allow linking from RU sites for high traffic volume from spam sites that are .ru sites. Because of those sites, we blocked all links to our site from .ru sites. If you want to try to visit our site, you need to type in the URL in your browser yourself. So they could still come to our site. We didn't ban the whole country. We just banned the hot linking. So if they actually want to come to our site, they actually have to go into the URL and type in headshotdomain.net instead of clicking one of the links. So that's basically what that was for. And yes, you would have to create your own and all that. I just found something. I was like, hey, I'm going to work with this and have some fun with it. Let's get moving on because I'm already going a little bit later than I really wanted to. So let's speed this along. Lazy Google tab. Highly recommend you not using this on your site. If you don't know what I'm talking about, here we'll come up here, open up this, go into preferences. We go to, what is it, miscellaneous options, I believe. And we should have lazy Google tab. There it is right there. Lazy Google tab. You have disabled bots only, everyone, admins, and bots. Leave it on disabled. Please do yourself a favor and leave it off. I'm so sick and tired of answering people showing that they're trying to use this and it's all looking funky and that. Just don't use it. It's bad. It was bad from the beginning. It's bad now. It really, really needs to be rewritten and overhauled. I do have to talk to Lone Star about that for the next release of the CMS. And again, mind you, that the next release of the CMS might have already been out, so this would be pretty much a worthless argument. But yeah, just ignore it for now. Don't even touch that. This is, of course, your Nuke Sentinel for setting up your htaccess, and I did change the URLs for that, so it really doesn't mean anything to you. But yeah, this is this should all come in when you go set up Nuke Sentinel. I do believe I have a video tutorial already on Nuke Sentinel. If I don't, then I'll make one. If I remember correctly, it was in the video tutorial for installing Evo for the first time, or installing Evo on your site. I think that's where I went over Nuke Sentinel. But I may do another separate video for that later on. Right here, this is all the denies and all that. This is right here. I want to set our website onto a specific time zone. So I ended up forcing it to TZ America, basically New York Eastern Daylight Time, Eastern Time. So that's what that is right there. Not most common except .php and HTML. Okay, mod deflate. This is something I do want to go over. This is actually for compression into gzip to help speed up, not really speed up, but make it overall better compressions and just make your site not necessarily run faster, but it works in correlation with what I'm going to show you a little bit further down, which is going to be for the cache system. But it does help get the files and that information over to the user side from the website a little bit quicker. If you really want to learn more about this, just go online and look up mod deflate, and you should find stuff on that. I mean, what it comes down to is it's just an Apache module that can be used to compress data using the gzip compression before sending it. It's more for bandwidth intensive websites. So but it's not necessarily going to really do too much as like stopping like resource usage on the server or anything like that. And it's not guaranteed it's going to make the site load any faster, um, but it will help. So that's basically what this is. And again, if you want to add this in, you can. But it's actually this whole section right there. And then we're going to get into the compression. And that actually ties into this. The setup cache. By default, this is what you have, except without all these pound signs in front of everything. The pound signs was put in by me because I didn't want to delete it, but I wanted to basically say to the htaccess, don't use this. Instead, what I did was I used this. I noticed when I went and ran the Google developers test, when I was using the old one, I was getting some errors in it, basically saying leverage browser caching for the following cacheable resources, blah blah blah, and it was just basically saying the cache system wasn't working that great. So once I did this, and I got my score up, I got my score up from like in the 50s. I was at the 50s. Now I'm up in the 80s. 84 for PC, 88 for phones, and that's good. And I mean, it's actually a little bit slower because I have to do some ping images and some more optimizations here and there. But it definitely helped by me updating the cache. So I went from caching this way, which has been told all over the website, to something like this. I ended up doing my research. I went to several different sites. I read through this, which is the Google Docs, and then I ended up looking up right here, reading about how the caching system works, and then I found more information here, and saw how they had right here. And as you can see, that is that pretty much. That is the system that was found to work the best. But I did read up on all these different informations on it to help out coming up with stuff. Too far. But yeah, this seemed to be the one that worked the best, and this is how it is right here, pretty much by default. And by doing it this way, this seemed to work the best, and Google accepted it. So I end up going with that. The last part is right here, and this I'm going to be wrapping it up. Sorry, I've actually gone probably about, I want to go no more than 20 minutes, and we're at 22, so I'm actually pretty good. But we're going to wrap it up right here. You'll see right here, start nuke, sentinel, deny from area, blah, 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 and then you'll see a bunch of denies. These are all fake IP addresses. Well, they're real IP addresses, but I don't know who they belong to, and I just typed them in. 123, 123, 123, and all that. So, mind you, they're not going like this. It's going to be all different numbers and be all different things. Anything that's deny from, and then a string of numbers, anybody that comes to your site with that string will be blocked. Plain and simple. If you ever screwed around in the admin panel and did something you weren't supposed to do, you might have accidentally banned yourself. Your IP is probably in here. So if you get like a white page saying, yeah, you're denied from, you're being blocked from, we don't want you here type thing, yeah, your IP is probably in here, so just find your IP and delete it. So that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a lot to the htaccess. And I may not actually give you the whole file, but what I might do is just cut out the most important parts that I've went over, like this, and these different rewrite rules. Hell, I may even put this in, which is probably really not needed. But I will also definitely give you guys this whole section right here. along with the caching system if you guys want to use it. Now, of course, you guys can pick and choose. Just watch the video, see what parts I put in, and go to the file that's going to be provided when I release this video and use it. So if you guys find this video and it helped, please feel free to give me a like. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down, dislike, and be sure to post in the comments about it. If you have any other questions, feel free to post inside the comments of this video, or for a faster response, come right to my website, headshotdomain.net, and post in our forums. If you found this video extremely helpful and you guys want to help out keeping our site going and keeping these videos coming out, feel free to donate over at the headshotdomain.net. Every little penny helps out. So, yeah. Till next time, you guys have a good one.